guys, here we go into a video on why Manny Pacquiao has more power than Paulie Malignaggi. Now, it's no secret that Manny Pacquiao has great power. I think he's actually a 140-pound fighter. He gets away with fighting at 147 because he's just so much better than everyone, right? So he fights at 147. He has pretty good power for 147, as we saw him being able to knock down Keith Thurman. But what we're going to be looking at is, why does he have power in his punches, right? And why does somebody like Paulie Malignaggi not have power, right? Now, first off, Paulie Malignaggi is an ex-world champion fighter. A lot of people think that he's a pretty good fighter. I think that he's a better fighter than he has technique. I think his technique is absolutely atrocious. Look at how far away his leg is, right? Look at how far away his feet are from his core, right? This is one of the reasons why he has no power. He cannot generate any power because he doesn't bring any weight with him, right? His weight doesn't go anywhere. Number one, let's take a look at how he gets on the front foot here, and he's shooting these shots. His weight's already on the front foot when he makes this right-hand attack right here, right? As you can see, his head is already on his front leg, right? He's just tapping that jab. There's no power in it. But by the time he gets into this position, all his weight is already there, right? All you can see clearly is that his hand is kind of moving forward, right? He's just kind of putting his hand in that position. On my channel, and if you're interested in my Patreon coaching, I teach bag drills to help develop power, help develop speed later. Paulie Malignaggi, if you want to sign up, I can show you a thing or two, no problem. But it's only $10 a month, and there are a lot of other patrons to kind of look from and learn from. But we're also going to take a look at a little bit of his heavy bag work here. So number one, he's not changing positions, okay? He's in the position that he wants to attack already, right? His head is on the front foot, and he's kind of just exploding out of his guard with this jab, right? So number one, this is going to be a jab from the back foot. Number one, very dangerous punch, okay? If you attack your opponent with a jab from the back foot, that means that you're going from the back foot to the front foot without crossing the guard, without you having your guard up, right? And that's what Paulie Malignaggi is doing here. He's going from the back foot, his weight from the back foot to the front foot through this jab, and that makes him very susceptible to punches like Kovalev's overhand right. So thank God that Paulie Malignaggi never had to fight anybody like Kovalev in his career. He didn't win enough fights to have to fight anyone who was really great. No, I'm just kidding. He did fight some good fighters, you know. But again, going back to the power, right? So let's take a look at this right hand. So we talked about in the shadow boxing how he throws that right hand and he's already in the front foot. So here he shoots it, right? And now he's transferring his weight to the front foot, right? You can see him throwing that shot. But look at how he bounces off the bag, right? He doesn't even get his power into the shot. He hits it and immediately kind of recoils back. I know a lot of people are going to think that this is good technique. He means to do this. But I can tell by the footwork in his shadow boxing and the way that he doesn't have any of his weight underneath him, that he actually just doesn't have his foot in the right position to carry and hold his weight on the front foot here. So you're going to want all the weight in your heel on your front foot so you can really sink in and smash the bag with this shot. Now, he's having the same problem with his left hand, as you see here. Boom, boom, right? See how he kind of just glides off the bag? He doesn't get any weight into it. There's no power. Number one, he doesn't change positions before he throws the punch, right? He's in the position that he wants to throw the punch from before he even throws the punch. So the right hand he's using just to get into the position to throw this shot, okay? So he's not getting any of his weight in this attack either, okay? So he's not able to lean into the right hand, bop, right? And then back to this position to the back foot for the left hand, right? So if he wants more power in this punch, he's going to have to get his head to the other side of the target a lot quicker, a lot more fluidly. The same thing with his right hand, right? You notice it's kind of a gliding motion into the shot, tap, right? But if you're really getting power in your shot, you want to get your head into this position just before you land the shot to really smash into the bag. You're not just practicing your weight transition, right? That's going to be more akin to like a shadow boxing style. But you can see that he doesn't actually move his head, right? He doesn't transfer, he doesn't change positions. Like this being the best right hand that he throws right here, you can tell that he doesn't get any power into it, right? He gets immediately pushed back into his own position. But again, just bouncing off the heavy bag each time with these power shots because he's not planting himself. He's not getting his weight into any of these shots. Now, let's take a look at Manny Pacquiao do it for real. Number one, thanks Fight Hub for the video. I appreciate it. So look at Manny Pacquiao when he shoots this right hand, this first one, right? He's going from the back foot to the front foot, right? And he shoots his jab to align his hips to get his weight into this right hand, right? See how he gets all his weight? He gets his head all the way from one side of his target to the other side of the target, right? Look at what position his head is in. It's on the inside of his attack, right? It's on the inside of his glove. Just really, really great technique, and always getting his head, right, on the other side of the target, right? Boom, boom, right? And that's what's going to give you a lot of the power, right? Notice he's never bouncing off the bag. He's able to smash and drive through with his weight on each of these shots. But again, changing positions, right? See how he gets his weight from the back foot all the way to the front foot? This very drastic positional change, and it's so much different than the head positions that Paulie Malignaggi finds himself in, right? When you see Paulie Malignaggi throw his hook to the body, right, or his hook, right, how far over does his head get on his front foot, right? Notice Manny Pacquiao going from this neutral position here all the way to the front foot, right, through that left hand, right, getting really good power in this shot and then really good power in this shot as well. Again, not only is he transferring his weight into the bag, but he's changing positions, moving his head. Again, something that Paulie Malignaggi is not able to do, right? See how his head is basically in the same position for the second boom, 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 right? Very, very, very minor movement changes for his head position, right? And this is going to stop him from actually getting any power into any of these shots. Now, it's funny because Paulie Malignaggi has had a long career of talking shit and not having to really be accountable, right? But look at how when he shoots his jab, right? If you're going to shoot a power jab, you're going to want your head moving to your back foot here, right? So not only is he getting his weight stuck on his front foot when he jabs, right? This is going to stop him from getting any power into this shot as well. But it also means that he's not going to be able to get any power into his actual right hand. As you can see here, his head is stuck on the line, right? He just sticks his hand out there, right? Now, a lot of people might think that this is a punch, right? But this is going to be more akin to a feint or a probe because there's no weight in this shot, right? There's no power in that. That's not a real punch. He's just tapping the bag, tapping his opponent, asking him a question, right? Now, unfortunately, Paulie Malignaggi never actually learned how to get any power into any of his punches, so these are the only kinds of punches that he can throw, are these feinting, probing shots that can't hurt anybody. I don't know when the last time Paulie Malignaggi was able to get a knockout in the ring, let alone kill a fly with a fly swatter. So, again, terrible technique with his jab here, right? Number one, look at how far away his foot is from his head, right? Or from his knee, right? His foot is really outstretched. He has no control of his weight. When he's shooting this jab, his heel is not on the ground, right? How is he transferring his weight? How is he going to get any weight into this jab? And then we can actually take a look at more of his footwork as well, right? Now, decent job here, right? Shooting his right hand, and look at how he gets his hip into it, right? But see how his foot, the position of his foot, it doesn't look like he's actually getting any of the weight into his front foot, right? It looks like he's kind of sinking into it, but he's not really changing positions. He's not really getting any of the weight in his front foot. It doesn't look like he's bending his leg enough to actually catch his weight. So it looks like his leg is kind of stiff, holding his weight kind of in the neutral position. It doesn't actually look like he's actually getting any weight into this shot. He's kind of just moving and sliding into the position. But again, this motion here, right, where he cranks his head forward into this position, very, very, very bad technique. When you shoot that jab, you want your head to be on the other side of your target, right? So in theory, if his hand is punching his opponent in the face right now, his head should be on the left side of his opponent's face, right? If he had an opponent in front of him, his head should be moving toward his back foot now. And that way he could drive and whip weight from the front of his body to the back through this cross. and then vice versa, going from the back foot, right, going from here to here when he throws his right hand. Okay, and that's another problem that he has, is he doesn't actually get his weight onto his back foot when he throws his right hand. Again, this is actually going to be a problem for him with his front foot. Again, not really getting the weight in his front foot when he shoots his punches here or puts himself in this position. Not really getting the weight into his heel. Now, the reason that this is going to be a problem is because when he brings his weight back from the front foot, see how his foot just picks up and moves when he tries to change positions? But he doesn't actually turn and transfer his weight from the front foot to the back foot, right? See when he makes this roll right here, but his front foot doesn't move at all? So when you roll this position, you want to be on the back foot, and you want all the weight to be in your heel on the back foot. That's the problem that Paulie Malignaggi is having here. And now this is going to stop him from transferring his weight from the front foot to the back foot, right? This is going to show up, this inability right here is going to show up when he's hitting the heavy bag. Where's that heavy bag work at? When he's hitting the heavy bag and he throws this left hook. Because from this position, he's not getting his head from the front foot to the back foot either. And you can see that he's not going to have any power in that punch all the way back here in his shadow boxing, in the way that he pivots from the front foot to the back foot, and he doesn't transfer his weight. He doesn't get any of the weight on his front foot. He doesn't get his front heel up into the ground to transfer the weight to the back foot. Now, because he has these problems in the front foot, I will guarantee you that he has them in the back foot as well. He just doesn't realize it. And again, these motions right here for his foot positioning, right? Getting the weight in his heels, transferring his weight, turning his heels or his turning his weight back and forward, right? Getting the weight in the correct positions. All these things are going to stop him from being able to have the kind of power and the kind of speed that someone like Manny Pacquiao has. Whereas when we can see his feet taking really good steps, now you can hardly see it on his front foot here, right? But look, he takes a step on the front foot here. Look at how he steps with his heel first, right? And now when he's shooting his hand, right, from the back foot to the front foot, his head is all the way on the front foot, and his weight is all the way in the heel of his front foot. We'll see if we can find any better angles of it. But you really want to pay attention to those small footwork positions. Let's see if we can find Manny Pacquiao throwing a right hook on the bag and transferring his weight to the back foot. They all seem to be covered up by this perfectly placed banner. For some reason, someone will put that there. Alright, I'm watching that front foot. I can't see it yet, though. I mean, he's only making such small motions, you know. He's not really transferring his weight very well. Just kind of going through the motions. Well, anyway, that's the problem that Paulie Malignaggi is having. He doesn't know how to get his head from one position to the other. He always fights out of the same position. And that means that he has bad technique. Likely some of the worst technique I've ever seen at a world championship level. So, Paulie Malignaggi, you should be very proud of yourself for becoming a world champion with such flawed tools. I know that that's not easy. You know, anyone who boxes knows that that's not easy. So, good job. But you need to stop telling everyone that you think Pacquiao's on steroids just because you have shitty technique and you'll never, ever, ever be the fighter that he is. Okay? Because you just don't know how to fight, right? You just don't know how to do it. That's all. Anyway, leave Pacquiao alone. You know, stick to fighting goats in bare knuckle fighting where you can't get a win either. Yeah.